It's me, Lauren. I don't think I've ever made a video by myself, like a long video, so I feel kind of weird. We have a podcast called the Cimorelli podcast, and on that, one of the segments is called Lauren's Take, where basically people ask me questions and I just answer like what I think about something or like my advice on something. And a lot of you guys seem to like that. So I thought I would do like a longer version because that's only like a 5-minute thing on our podcast. So I would do like go more in depth on certain things, and if people like it, maybe like make it like a series kind of thing. I don't know. So I tweeted and asked you guys what you would want to know my opinion or advice on. And I got a lot of responses. It was really overwhelming. I was like, I don't know which one to pick. But one of the main questions that I saw so many times was how to stay motivated. I'm like an introvert. I'm like pretty chill person. Like most of my life I spent watching TV and going on the internet, not really doing that much except for what I did with my sisters. But I wasn't like really pushing any of that forward. Like it was like Christina is the leader really, and she was the main person that was like pushing everything, and I was just kind of more like, okay, yeah, here for the ride, you know. And obviously like I have input and opinions on everything, but I was never the one who had to like stay motivated to keep things going like ever. So but recently I started working on some secret projects that are like just for me in my own life, that don't have anything to do with the other girls. And I realized being motivated is so hard. Not even just if you're trying to like make a career or like pursue something, but even just staying motivated, just take care of yourself, like to exercise every day or like do something like that. It's so hard. Oh my gosh. But I have been going like a month now on this kind of like scheduled thing that I did, and I guess I will just share my experience with you guys. So basically what had happened was Christina, she's like really motivational person, if you guys don't know that, but she gave us kind of this speech where she was like, guys, like, I don't know, she definitely said it way better than this, but she was basically just saying like, we need to all like take care of ourselves, like give our best, like, I don't know, it was way better than that. It wasn't just that. But I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. Like, I can't just watch YouTube videos for 5 hours every night or watch TV all the time. Like, I can't just let my life pass me by when there's all this time that I could be spending doing something that actually matters that I'm just wasting doing nothing. So another thing that she said during that motivational speech was how she was reading this thing or watching a video, I don't know, about how every time you have the same thought twice, then it's like overworking your brain, right? So your brain gets really exhausted when you have the same thought twice. And obviously it's kind of impossible to not have the same thought twice, but what I think they were saying was when you're like, oh, I need to remember to do that. Oh, I need to remember to do that. Oh, I need to remember to do that. Or like, oh, this thing I'm worried about. This thing I'm worried about. This thing I'm worried about. You're just exhausting your brain all day. So you have to like take those and get them out. Like you have to write things down. You need to remember them. You have to like deal with problems when they come, because it's true. You're just exhausting yourself over and over again, especially when you have a problem. The longer, I think I tweeted this, the longer you put something off, the longer it is a problem for. So you're just prolonging your own stress and anxiety if you don't deal with things as soon as you can. So I think there's a few parts to staying motivated. So I think really the first most important thing is taking care of your own like mental state and mental health, right? So what I started doing was journaling every single night and every single morning, right? So I set aside like 30 minutes every night, 30 minutes every morning, just to kind of like at night go over the day and kind of just process it and be like, okay, like what happened today? How do I feel right now? What were things that happened during the day where I felt kind of weird, but I just kind of brushed it off because I wasn't really in a place to be able to like express my feelings in that situation, because, you know, you can't just like start crying everywhere. It doesn't really help you to fully express your feelings in every situation, right? Sometimes that kind of messes things up. But if you don't express things, then they're just swimming around in your brain all the time, making you tired, right? So I started really trying to take all of the thoughts that were swimming in my head every night and get them out, take them out of my head. So like, oh, I felt like this today, I'm scared of this, like this happened, like blah, 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 blah. Like just write, whatever was going through my mind just for like 30 minutes straight until I felt like I had kind of like unloaded the day. Because the way that I see it, everyone has all of these like overarching problems, I guess. So like things from your childhood, or just like problems that you deal with every single day that just like are a theme through your entire life, right? So you already have these problems. So every day comes with its own problems. So if you don't deal with the day's problems, you're taking them into the next day, and you're just adding and adding and adding every single day to this whole overarching theme of problems that you have. So I think if you can do your best to process every day and there's like that quote that's like, don't take today's problems into tomorrow. I don't think that's actually it, but it's something like that. So that was like the first thing, which really helped me. It was actually really weird because I used to feel like I was like kind of a sociopath. Not that like, so like, and that's dramatic, but like a sociopath is someone who like doesn't have empathy and like doesn't really care about people. Because like things would happen and I'd just be like, oh, like, yeah, that's sad, but like, I didn't really care that much. Like as far as like things happening to other people, like I'd be like, oh wow, like I can see that that's sad, but I don't really feel sad for that person. And I was like, what's wrong with me? But when I started actually like processing my feelings in my life, I just started like crying all the time. Like not even in a bad way, but just out of like empathy for other people. Like if someone's sad, I'm just like, that's so sad. Or like if I'm sad, I'm just like, oh, this is sad. But it's like, I don't know if you have experienced this, but there's like two different types of crying that I feel. So one crying is when you're like, this is horrifying. I have been repressing my feelings for months and I feel a deep depression coming on, and if I cry and let myself feel this, I'm never going to be happy again. This is the worst thing that's ever happened, right? So there's that kind of crying where it's just terrifying and you're like, this is horrible. But then there's like a more chill kind of crying where you're just like, oh, I'm sad about this one thing, and I know that I just need to cry and get through this one thing, and it doesn't mean that I'm gonna be sad forever. So like that kind of crying kept happening, and I was like, wow, like I'm not a sociopath anymore, so that's cool. So that is just, I think that is the number one thing to staying motivated and just like being happy in general, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're bringing all of this like mental weight into everything that you do. When you don't take care of this, then it shows in everything you do. You can't focus, you can't do your best, like things are just not working. You're not nurturing your relationships, you're not taking care of yourself, like everything is just not working because you have to take care of yourself first. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, don't be selfish. Okay, but you know what's selfish is not taking care of yourself and not taking care of anyone else and ruining your own life. Like, well, I guess that's not selfish, but that's just as dumb. Like, that just ruins everything for everyone. Like, there's nothing good about that. But when you fill yourself up, then you can overflow into other people and into the other areas of your life. But you have to be full first in order to give. You have to have something to give. You can't just be like drained all the time, or else you can't even do anything good for anyone. So that just sucks. So also for me, what comes with taking care of myself is like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? So that's the other thing, is I started actually like carving out time every day to pray and like give to God, because I know that when I am not feeling good about my relationship with God, or I'm like disconnected from him, then things aren't working for me. Like that's when I get the most like stressed and scared, because God is just like this like life raft, because it's like you just give your problems to God and you're just like, okay, I surrender, whatever your will is, like give me the courage to follow that. And then you can just like rest because you know that he's going to take care of you, right? So when I'm not doing that, then I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm going to die. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. So I go to mass, daily mass on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I also go on to like normal mass or whatever on Sundays. And then what I do actually, okay, so if you have a problem like I had where every time you try to pray, it's like right before you're about to fall asleep, and then you're like, hey God, like you're trying to pray, and then you just like, I can't because I'm about to fall asleep right now. That was my problem for a long time. And like I wasn't really praying because I would just fall asleep, right? So now what I do is I take 30 minutes before I want to actually be asleep, and I have these 2 candles right there. If you can see them, they're like those candles that have like saints on them or whatever. And I light them, and then I turn off the lights and I play Gregorian chant, which probably sounds really weird, but it's just like this really like, it's like a cappella, like Latin music, and I just play it really quietly in the background so it like gives me a vibe. And then I like don't lay down like I'm gonna go to sleep, like I'll sit, or like sometimes like I wish that I could like kneel, but I just don't really have the I don't know, I just can't really do that. Maybe one day I'll be able to, but I just can't really do that. So I just like sit and I have my candles and my music. My brother is outside. My candles and my music, and then it's like such a better experience for me. And I just noticed that when I like take these thoughts that are swimming around and I let them out, and then I take time, like real actual time with God at night, then the next morning is so much easier for me because I'm not waking up like, oh, this problem, this problem, this problem. I'm like, okay, I already dealt with those problems last night, so I can just take today's problems and deal with those instead of worrying about yesterday and the day before and the day before and my entire life before that because I never dealt with anything. So yeah, taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and then physically. Actually, I didn't go into mentally yet. Okay, so I did emotionally and spiritually. So mentally is kind of different for everyone because that's just like your mental health in general. I think a main thing though that applies to everyone is having good boundaries in your life. So like if you don't want to hang out with someone but they really want to hang out, like just saying like, sorry, I can't. Like even if they're like, no, please, just be like, we'll hang out another time, or like, I just can't right now. So basically just not letting people walk all over you and not just doing what everyone wants you to do. Thinking about yourself, like, okay, what do I need right now in order to be my best self, and making sure that that's happening and that you're doing that instead of just thinking about, well, what does everyone else want from me? What does everyone else want me to do? Like, what do I need to do? Taking care of that is a really big thing because if you just feel like you're a slave to everyone and everyone else is running your life basically, then you're going to be so drained. And of course, you're not going to have any motivation because all your energy is spent trying to be what everyone else wants you to be. So that does not help you. And I used to be one of those people where I was like, everyone controls me, I'm in a prison, like, this sucks, I don't know how to stand up for myself. And I learned how to do it. It was really hard, but if you don't know how to stand up for yourself, you have to start doing it. And it's really hard at first, but the more times you do it, the more easy it gets. So at this point, like, I still get a little nervous, like, oh, like, I need to stand up for myself, but I'll still do it. Like, I know, like, okay, I can do this. Even though it's scary, I know I can do it. That, your mental health, that's a big thing. And then everyone has different things that they need to take care of to be mentally healthy. So just being aware of what that is for you. And then physical health. Or no. And then taking care of yourself physically. I think these are the 4 pillars of success, right? Mental, spiritual, emotional, physical. Yes. Really, that just means like exercising every day, eating enough, eating like healthy things generally. Like nobody really eats healthy 100% of the time. Well, I guess some people do, but I don't know how they do that. I don't do that. So eating generally healthy, exercising every single day. Like, listen, okay, I know exercising can really suck. I understand that. I have never been like, ooh, like live active, this workout girl or whatever. I was never that. I was just like, I'm tired. But But the thing with exercise is, okay, it doesn't mean run 7 miles today. No, you're not going to do that. You're never going to do that. It doesn't mean run 7 miles every day. You're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. So don't overshoot things. Like, don't be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to start working out for 5 hours every day. I'm going to start waking up at 3 a.m. Like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to sustain that lifestyle, right? So what I do for exercise is I have 2 options. So if it's cloudy / cold / raining, then I just do like an at-home workout or whatever. I literally have 5-pound dumbbells, and I do like these exercises. I do like curls and like these things, and then like this thing where you go like that, and then I do like abs and then like leg stuff. So that is something that's really easy to do. Well, okay, it's not easy to actually physically do it, but it's easy to figure out like what to do. You can literally just go on YouTube and be like at-home workouts, and like literally just do like a 15-minute video. Like, I don't work out for 100 years every day. I probably do like 30 minutes every day. It's not that dramatic. But if it's sunny out or it's nice out, I go on a walk in my neighborhood. I try to do like, I'll listen to a song and like I'll walk for the verse of the song, and then like I'll run for the chorus, and then I'll walk for the verse, and then I'll run for the chorus. I don't usually actually run for every chorus, but like I try to do that, you know? So the thing with exercise is it's not just because you need to take care of your body so you can like survive in life and not die. I don't think a lot of people realize that exercise makes you think so much clearer and so much straighter. Like, it's weird, but when your brain is really cloudy and you're just like, I can't think straight, everything sucks, like just really numb, exercising actually helps you to feel better and see like, okay, not everything is horrible. Like, I don't know how it works, but just like getting your heart rate up and like you feel alive, it just helps you think clearer. So it helps your brain. It helps your mental health too. So important. Basically, you have to make sure that you are taking care of those 4 things, those 4 pillars of your life, right? Because the hardest part about staying motivated is just like being sad or just being disappointed or being just like when you just feel like down. Like, that's the hard thing with staying motivated, because you're not motivated at all. You're just like, well, everything sucks. Like, why am I gonna do this? I don't care. Everything sucks, right? So when you take care of those 4 things, it's a lot easier to handle like the challenges that life throws at you and like the ups and downs of like your mental state. So once you have like all of that kind of figured out and you're like keeping up with all of that, then I hate to tell this to you, but motivation isn't really real, right? So like, you'll be motivated like once a week, maybe, like genuinely motivated. But even if you are taking care of all those things, you're not gonna wake up every day and be like, woo, like I am so ready to take on the day. Like, that just doesn't happen, right? Like, staying motivated doesn't happen. What happens is having passion and caring so much about something that it doesn't matter if you don't feel like doing it, because you care about it so much that you'll do it anyway. Like, that's what happens. There's all of this, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. But when you care about something so much, you do those things anyway. So if you are having trouble staying motivated to do something like starting a business or working on a project or something like that, it's like you're not going to have this like magical thing every day like, wow, I'm so excited. Like, even if you do care about like getting good grades or whatever it is, what you have to do is figure out why you want to do these things that you wish you were motivated to do. Like, what's the real, genuine, deep reason? Like, you can't just have a reason like, oh, I want to be rich, because that's not going to sustain you. Well, maybe it will, I don't know, but it wouldn't sustain me. Like, if I just want to do something because like, oh, I want to be rich, then when it came like 5 a.m. and my alarm went off and it was like, oh, you need to do this thing, and it's like, why? Because I want to be rich. I'd be like, rather sleep than do that. So see ya. So it's like you have to have a real reason of why you want to do something that really like sets your soul on fire, you know? Like, I want to get a good grade on this project because I want to graduate, because I want to make this change in the world, or because I want to help this person in this way. Whatever it is, like, you have to see the larger scheme of your life and why this thing matters in the larger scheme of things, right? Like, that's just the biggest thing. You have to have a deeper reason and meaning of why you're doing things, or else you're not gonna do it when it's hard. You know, like, if something's hard to do and it doesn't matter, why would you do it? You're not gonna do it. If you know that something matters and you know that this is what you're meant to do and this is what you need to do, this is something that only you can do, then you're just gonna be like, I don't care that it's 5 in the morning. I don't care that I'm really tired. I don't care that I'm sad right now. I'm gonna do this anyway because it matters. It's important. And that is the biggest thing. It's not about motivation. It's about passion and caring about what you're doing and having a real reason why it matters, which is why, like, if you're just doing things that don't really matter to you, or you're going for a job that you don't really care about, you're not gonna do your best, you're not gonna try that hard, like, you're not gonna stay motivated because you don't care about it. And everybody cares about things. Like, some people are like, oh, like, I don't have any dreams, or I don't have any passion, like, I don't care about anything. But you actually do. Like, if you reach deep inside yourself, you will find that you really do care about some things. I was in church yesterday, and this lady was, like, giving a testimony, and she was saying, she's talking about suffering, and she was, like, telling this whole story about her life, and at one point she was saying she realized she needed to think back to who she was before the world told her who she needed to be, or who she should be. And I was like, wow, like, that's so true. Like, who were you before the world told you who you should be? Who were you? What did you care about? What did you like? Like, what did you want to do when you were a little kid? Like, what was your dream? What do you do in your day that you're just like, I could do this all day. Like, I could forget that time is passing while I do this. Like, those are the things that matter to you, you know? Or, like, the things that happen that you just feel this injustice about, and you're like, I need to change something about this. Like, that's what you should focus on. Things that really, like, stir up passion inside of you. That's what you need to focus on, because that is the only, those are the only things that you're gonna stay motivated for, are things that have a real meaning in the grand scheme of life, you know? And that doesn't mean, like, oh, you can only, like, be the president, or, like, only do missionary work in third world countries. Like, that's not the only thing that matters. Like, there's so many things that the world needs that can be a good service, and it doesn't have to be, like, this super dramatic, like, do-gooding thing to have a good purpose to it, right? So you having a gift and giving it to the world is a service in itself, because that is you glorifying God with what he gave you. Like, that is what you're meant to do, is to have a gift and give it to the world and do something good for the world with that gift. So this video is a lot longer than I thought it would be, and I hope that this makes sense, because I feel like I just went on this whole rant. So I hope that it makes sense when I'm editing it, but thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, I don't know if I really went all the way into how to stay motivated. I could probably talk more about it, but this has already been like 30 minutes right now, so probably gonna stop now. So if you like this video, then thanks, and comment other things that you would want me to talk about, give advice about, or just my opinion about, or my experience. I don't know, anything that you want to hear about, leave a comment or tweet me at Cimorelli. And let me know what you thought of this video, because if people actually care, then I will do more of them. So thanks for watching.